Hello. Right, so this is me en route home now. Well, I've been en route home for a wee while. This is left Switzerland, and I've now just stopped for a wee coffee break in the Black Forest. I sat there on this wee picnic bench with my jet boiling cup. I'll stick a photo around here somewhere. And I had all this to look out on. It's absolutely breathtakingly stunning. The cloud inversion, or an inversion down there, which is starting to move off now, but it's great seeing bikers coming round this bend here and back up. Nice big winding road I've just come down, and there's Betty just ready to get poised and ready to go again. So yeah, it's a really nice road. This is the L151 going through the Black Forest. So here she is. There's my steed. She's over 40,000 miles now, and doesn't sound like she's missing a beat or anything, so she's doing very well. I've been asking a lot of her with countless mountain passes and hairpins and steep hills and stuff, so she's been doing really well. Anywho, I'll get back on the road and then switch back on. A bit of a bump and nothing coming. Off we go. So yeah, heading up to a place called Bad Harenbad or something like that. I'll pop the name somewhere. Up to a hotel called Park Louise, which has always been a nice hotel. But look at that, we're under the clouds here, the big fog starting to fall on the forest, and I quite like it. Today's been the first day where I've been quite cool on the ride for a long time, and let me tell you, it's a very welcome feeling. I'm definitely Scottish. I definitely prefer riding in Scottish climates. Riding in 30, 32 up to 36 degree temperatures consistently for such long times, it really grinds you down and wears on you a wee bitty. It's always good to get away, but it's always better to get home. So yeah, and I'll tell you what, the sheer amount of bikers and the friendliness of bikers over here on the continent is absolutely unreal. I can't keep waving to them. It just repetitive strain injury, and also some of the bikers' skill around here is just phenomenal. They seem to be able to stand on one leg, hoist the bike over, and then still be able to wave whilst cooking a flipping fried egg on their engine. It's mad. But I'm taking it very easy today. I've got loads of time to get to the hotel, and I might sort of take some time when I get there just to use the facilities. I might even go for a walk and explore the place. So that's the plan anyway. Anywho, I am major waffling. Let's just get some music on and we'll keep the cameras running. Quite nice. I know I've said it before, is that probably a year ago I started planning this trip, planning the routes. And in my office, sit there with, this is a Garmin Navigator 6, and well, it's a piece of shenanigans. Don't like it, hate it. Very, very complicated, not very reliable. And to plan trips, I use Garmin Basecamp, which is a complete and utter ball ache. However, once you put enough hours and frustration into something, you eventually learn some of the basics, and you can get to plan quite easily. But it's very just difficult to do. So, long and the short of it is, I am going to be getting rid of the Nav 6 and replacing it with this new Chiggy system. It seems to be all the rage, giving Apple CarPlay onto the bike. So I will be having a wee gander at a bike things shop, and maybe partaking of the Chiggy bandwagon. And then you've got all of the apps on your phone, anything at all that's good at route planning, you can then just use that. But anyway, my point was, you start to see on the sat-nav wee flags. There's a wee orange flag coming up in 750 metres. Wee dots that you've just placed in a road to help route this and plan the route. Then you see them appear in the sat-nav, which I don't know if it's showing you there, on Ortstrasse. But more importantly, I'm in it. I'm on it a year later. So I'm retiring from route planning and just getting some major milestones in. This is the thing now. My other half is really, really, really generous with the amount of time that she lets me get away from the family. And it's not that I need to get away from the family, it's more that I need to get away and do this. But it's just sod's law that every time I do, there just seems to be stuff going on. However, I've been away up to Sweden, I've been around Ireland, I've been down to the south of France and doing the French Alps and stuff like that. Was away to Switzerland, explored Switzerland. This trip did the whole thing again, Switzerland, Germany, Slovenia, and all of the big top dog mountain passes that I wanted to see before I leave this planet, I've now seen. So it's actually quite a good position to be in now. I'm thinking about next year's holiday. Where do I go? Such a lovely wee road. I'm enjoying this. I have the place to myself. Look at this, a mountain biker and someone skiing coming up the hill. I do like these GSAs. They're so steady and flickable. When you're manhandling it and it's stationary and you're lugging it about, it's much easier to lug about than my previous bike, the Tiger. But this, when it's riding, it just rides so light. I mean, I've got full panniers and a bag on my pillion seat, and it's just dead light. So, at a point in time, not that long ago, I was toying with getting a newer version of Betty. And I got in touch with the dealer, and we got some numbers. But the first thing was what was I going to get for Betty? Now, interestingly, the dealership themselves wouldn't take the bike because of the mileage on it. Because generally speaking, people wouldn't want to buy bikes with the mileage that I had on it. And I have been advised as well by the salesperson to get rid of it because the value of the bike will depreciate quickly now that I'm approaching, or was approaching, 40,000. So anyway, we did some numbers. It was put out to auction, and the money that the offer that was made in the bike was rubbish compared to how much it's worth to me. And also, the engine is not showing any signs of fatiguing on me. This is me done over 40,000 Betty's turn, 40,000 on this. I'm sure it's hard to tell when it's all kilometres. And she's awesome. She's doing everything she needs to do. And she's not showing any signs of fatiguing. She's been up really steep slopes, really tight hairpins. And she's just handling in the way that I need her to handle continually. You know, that's the torque to get me out of that there, for example, still there. So yeah, I think I'm going to be holding on to her until she's unsustainable, but it feels like she's continually wanting to give me memories, so I'm continually wanting to make them. So yeah, I will be keeping Betty for a while. I reckon next bike I get will be the 1300 GSA, but that'll be a bit down the line. Wow, that's a steep piece of road. But your camera won't do anything about showing how that is. There's a corner that's manned by a photographer. I'll share his link somewhere on Stelvio, and people always seem to drop their bikes where at they take the bend on the inside, and it's quite high up, it's quite steep, and then when they go to try and steady the bike, if they don't put the throttle on, I mean, you have to really fucking commit to it, but if they don't, they always put the same leg down, regardless, the right leg, and which is downhill, and therefore the bike's going to just topple. And there's so many videos and photos of people doing that. That hairpin back there was very much like that. Right, 120 kilometers per hour. That's what Betty needs. Get some air into her ducts and cool her down. "17 kilometers to our next move." That's good. So cruise control and chill. Say the most dangerous part on any bike is the nut that separates the handlebars from the seat. I'll let you think about that for a second. But I can certainly vouch for that. So I bought a vented jacket for this trip, but I didn't take it with me. I neglected to buy a back protector. We've all got our different risk assessments and stuff. I didn't have a back protector, so I didn't feel safe riding without it. So it stayed at home, and I've had to endure some whopping heats by opening my breast vents and stuff. Well, my shoulder vents. I don't have any breast vents. A lot of this footage is going to be very boring for those watching, so I'll only be catching snippets of it. It's like Glencoe. I love Glencoe. One of my favourite places in the world to ride. I was putting a video together about Glencoe, like i.e. the ride to Glencoe. You actually realise that it's quite boring, because what I'm experiencing just now is the leaning of the bike, my body getting thrust about like a, I think I've got crawling something in my mouth. Don't know what it was. Don't want any beasties fanning around in my head. I don't know what I was saying. Oh yeah. What I'm experiencing just now is the being thrust about and flicking back around, the G-forces, the wind in my visor. It just feels so engaging. But the camera can't bring this to life really. You can just give a wee snippet which is very two-dimensional. However, it's all I've got to offer. I'm enjoying this road. The B500 is the main road that everybody rides on and drives on in the Black Forest. And there's always roadwork, so there's very busy with bikes and stuff like this. So I thought today I'm going to go anti-500. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So I'm just plotting, I plotted a route which didn't involve the B500. Takes in some of it, but right now I'm on a lot of the quieter roads, and I must say it's very rewarding. Enjoying it so far. Right, to get some water in me. Oh yeah, the water's been kept nice and cool because of the temperature. When it's really hot, you start drinking this stuff. It's like drinking tea for the first few sips until you get to the good stuff. Nothing coming. Do you know, I've spent so much time getting used to how to drive on the right, where to look for traffic, when to look for traffic, how to use roundabouts. I'm actually shitting myself about coming back into the UK. Look at them spraying the wood here because it's so dry, so it doesn't end up on fire. That's pretty cool. Surface of this road's more akin to riding in Scotland. Bumpy, not well maintained, but it's home. In the absence of mountain passes, I'll take these wee roads. The whole road to myself. I mean, anytime I'm coming to the Black Forest, this is the route I'm taking. Ooh. And just as I say that, a car comes. Oh, I wish cameras could actually give you a sense of smell. It's absolutely, smells amazing in here. Look at the view. It's stunning. Look at this. There just isn't this drama on the B500. It's pretty cool. I love this. I'm loving these climbing and climbing up the mountains, up the hills. These roads, just amazing. And then through the trees you see the glimmers of how high you are and the forest caps. Just looks pretty cool. I wish a parking place close by. Something that will allow me to enjoy this view as if by magic. Right, so this is just a wee spot of the L402. I'm going to have a wee wander over. Let's have a looky. This is my helmet cam. This is awesome. Let me go and get my Fanta so I can sit and enjoy a drink. A Malteser bar maybe. Have a look at this. It's absolutely gorgeous. The scene just goes on for miles and miles and miles. So this is just off the L92 in the Black Forest. Had to screech to a stop to get to see this. As always with these things, cameras don't do it any kind of justice. But the view goes on forever, just out that way. Boop. Absolutely stunning. And my helmet and Fanta just perched on top of the wee bench. But yeah, not a bad pit stop. Thank you, Black Forest. That was a cracking pit stop. Now I just need to navigate my way off the surface of the moon here, given the number of craters. Let's see how we go on. Looking good. Right, next stop is the hotel. This is me on the B500 now for the last 30 or so miles. It's a fucking huge road, lovely and wide, lots of sweepers, and they've gone and put a 70 km/h speed limit on it. Makes no sense whatsoever. I guess if there's lots of accidents, then it might do. I'll say right now, B500 cannot be enjoyed in the same way it probably once was by bikers. Having a 70 km/h speed limit on this road is way too slow. And I understand there's safety enthusiasts out there. I get the reasons why. But sometimes being this slow can have its own problems. Okay, I'm off the B500 now, heading down some mad wee road called Hundekstrasse or something like that. So this is 100 km/h, and the big wide one I've just come off is 70 km/h. Work that one out, and this one is infinitely more fun. So yes, B500 sucks. I'll let this guy past. There you go, buddy. I knew he was wanting to play, and I'm not big a player as he is. Okie dokie, it's fair coming down now on this tar. There's warning signs all over the place about it getting slippy when it's wet. That's my wee sticker that I got for doing the Grossglockner. I just shoved it in there with my bump that you get when you pay your toll. I'll find somewhere to stick it. Right, last 12 kilometres. After a very sketchy sleep last night, I am ready for getting in and having a bit of a rest in the room. Just closed. Right, that road was closed. I thought it might be open with a dodgy surface, but the excavator driver made a pretty big statement of putting his big bucket and himself straddling the road, so it was closed. The joys of sat-nav navigation and not knowing the area. So I'm just navigating an alternative way. Heat's starting to creep up quite a lot now. It's 26 degrees and it's beating down on me. The train thingy-majiggies, level crossing barriers are down. So I'm hoping they'll be up soon. We should see a train go past here shortly. There we go. We were only 9 kilometers away on that road, And now we're 22 kilometers away, so much longer ride now. This is where the hard work kicks in on the bike. You got to dig deep, not to let your concentration lapse. Oh, so after an 18-kilometer detour, we are within the last 8 kilometers of the ride. It's a very nice detour, but I'm tired. I'm ready to get into the hotel. And this is where mistakes happen. So I need to switch on. Right. Ah, it's Pete's bike. Okay, arrived. Time to go.